Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Talk About It. Today we have someone that I'm so excited about being here, and her name is Ché. I'm gonna tell she's gonna share her full name and all that good stuff in a second. But I wanted to share with you guys why I am so excited about having her here. I had a chance to meet her back in Atlanta, and when she comes into a room, she's just vibrant. She's beautiful already, but she also has this beauty about her just in terms of how she shows up, and she's warm and friendly and all the good things in between. And then I had the nerve to try her macaron, which she's going to share with you guys about. And I just loved it. I loved everything about it. And before, I never liked those. I never liked the dessert. I never thought they were tasty, but I tried hers and it was amazing. And then I got a chance to get to know her a little bit better, my husband and I. And I don't know. It's just something about her just really connected to me. And so I wanted to bring her on here today because I feel like she's one of the most honest and real business women I've met in a long time. So I'm excited for her to share more with you guys about who she is, what she's about, and we're going to dive into some questions about her journey. So welcome, Ché, to Let's Talk About It.
Well, thank you so much for that. I was like, oh, I want to meet her.
Well, you are definitely her.
That's me. That's me. Thank you so much for having me, Kimberly.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. So tell us, Ché, a little bit about you, your business. Let's start there.
Okay. Well, of course, I am Ché Houston, and I am the CEO of René Macarons and more. And we're located right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And a little bit about me is naturally, I'm an artist. I've done all types of art, poetry, professional cake decorator, professional pastry chef, and the list goes on and on. And just a very creative person, very fun loving, and all about my business.
Yeah. So what is your business?
Well, my business is a French macaron shop, boutique. French macarons with a little Southern finesse. And what I mean by that Southern finesse is that we have Southern flavors. I'm a Southern girl, born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. And so one of my favorite desserts is peach cobbler. So that is our signature flavor, is the peach cobbler. Because Georgia, peaches, it just all goes together.
And it is good.
Thank you. Thank you. And then, of course, we have like banana pudding, and the list goes on and on. We have over 40 flavors. So,
and I have to say this just to interject, that the flavors are really true to form. Sometimes when people have a flavoring on it and you're eating it and you're wondering where the flavor is going to show up, and with yours, it hits you right in the first bite. So I love that, because it's something that we send out even to clients and to people that we care about. And all of them have said they love that the flavor really matches what you describe. So that's really key. Yes.
Yes, because one of those reasons is because all of my fillings are made from scratch. They are made, excuse me, just like the original homemade dessert.
Okay.
Wow. And I just tweak it to where I can put it inside that macaron shell.
Yeah.
And it's true to flavor.
It is
very true.
Very much so. So why the macaron? Like, why did you settle on that as the platform for your business?
Well, the thing is I've been baking and decorating cakes for over actually 27 years now.
Oh, wow.
And so I've done cakes for celebrities, I've done weddings, I've traveled all over the US doing weddings, and character cakes, kids' birthdays. And the thing is I was doing cakes on the side for so many years, just doing it on the side as just some extra money. Yeah. And the thing is when I decided that I really wanted to go into business and I wanted to legitimize my gift,
right.
I looked at the Atlanta market and it was just so saturated with cakes and cupcakes and infused cupcakes.
Yeah.
Cakes with sparkles coming out of them and cakes. It was just like crazy. Yeah. And so I was like, what is going to separate me from the rest? And I've
Mhm.
always been that type of person
Yeah.
that I'm not in competition with anyone because I'm
Right.
very clear when God gives me a message
Mhm.
and when it's like I want you to do this, I want you to
Yeah.
do that. I'm never in competition with anyone. And
Mhm.
so when the idea for the macaron came, it was
Mhm.
like that's going to separate me from the rest.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what is going to separate me even from the common macaron?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
know,
love that. I love that.
so I was like, I'm gonna make it mine.
Mhm.
I'm gonna make it mine. I'm gonna put my stamp on it
Mhm.
because people love my cakes, they love my desserts.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm gonna put all of that into this
Mhm.
cute little pastry.
Tasty.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Tasty.
put it I'm gonna put it in this right here and
Yeah.
just make it have a powerful punch,
Yeah.
flavor bursting. And
Yeah.
so that's how I came to the macaron.
Something, what you just shared, and I want to make sure I kind of just sit with it for a quick second, is as a business person, it's always very important to try to make sure you stand out, right? And I love that you say you're not in competition with nobody because we're not. We all have our own individual gifts. But what I
Mhm.
like that you did is that you didn't just pick macarons, you even went a step further and they're Southern.
Yeah.
And then you went a little further and you have a different taste profile with it. So it's not just Southern because people can do a Southern, but not like your Southern. You know what I mean? Like, so you found a way to make it your own. And I think that's one of the key things, even in being in business, is trying to find that point of stepping out and making sure that your name is known for something, because
Mhm.
too often we're trying to make our name known for too many different things to where it becomes crowded, it becomes
Right.
confusing. And I'm a
Right.
big believer, a confused buyer don't buy. If they
Right.
don't know what you do and they're not clear, they're not going to
Mhm.
buy. But something else, just to kind of to your point too about what you do, and I throw this in every before I ask my next question, but is that when people share about your macarons, they share about the flavors. They share that it
Mhm.
tastes like a real like peach cobbler banana pudding. And I think that is even a marketable thing that you have definitely honed in very well, because people should be able to speak what it is that you do. If they can't speak it and they just say it's just a macaron and that's
Mhm.
it,
Mhm.
then you fall into the crowd, if you will, you know?
Right.
So I
Right.
think your profiles definitely make you stand out.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. And I just wanted to add that I always believe that it was destined for
Mhm.
me to end up with the French macaron
Yeah.
just because my birth name is French.
Ah, that makes sense. That doesn't make
Uh-huh.
sense. It makes
And so
sense.
I was like, yeah, this was destined to happen. I mean, what
Yeah.
are the chances of that,
Yeah. Exactly.
And just me always being that one that kind of was skipping on her own road. You
Mhm.
know, I was
Yeah.
skipping over here on the side and everybody else was somewhere else.
Yeah.
And, where is Shay? Oh, she's back over there somewhere doing something.
But you found your way, which is so cool.
Mhm.
So what is,
Absolutely.
like, if you were to answer, what are like 2 to 3 things that you've learned about yourself as a businesswoman since starting your company?
Ooh. Okay. So one of the things that I learned about
Mhm.
myself is I have to write everything down.
Ah,
I have to because my mind, honestly, it like
mhm.
once I get one idea,
Yeah.
my mind starts building around that idea.
Yep.
It starts building around it.
Yeah.
And then I jump over to another part and another
Yeah.
part and another part. And then I have this huge production and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, wait a minute, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I've learned how to write all of my ideas down, but then I also have to break it down from there.
Mhm.
And this helps me to not become so overwhelmed because I am so creative
Yeah.
that I will take off.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
take off. So I have to kind of pull myself back,
Mhm.
pull the reins and,
Mhm.
take one step at a time.
Yeah.
The other thing that I learned about myself is that I have to make sure that I'm taking care of myself mentally
Mhm.
and spiritually that I have to eat right because I need the energy that
Yeah.
it's going to take to put into my business.
Yeah.
I have to stay refreshed,
Mhm.
because being in business, starting
Mhm.
out in business, I'm wearing a lot of hats. I'm
Right.
wearing a lot of hats. And
Mhm.
so I have to stay clear. I have to stay focused. And so making sure that I'm taking care of myself, I'm taking time for myself, allows me to
Mhm.
operate in my business more effectively.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was the second thing. And then the other thing that I learned about myself is, believe it or not, I'm shy. Believe it or not. Yes. So it takes and a lot of people don't believe me, but it's
Yeah.
true. I get extremely nervous. Um I
Wow.
almost have social anxiety to the
Really?
point to where like I have to like push through that thing
Mhm.
and just step out because no one is gonna know about
Mhm.
Shay Renee if I do not open my mouth.
That's true. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so but on the inside I'm like, oh God. I'm like it is on the inside, I'm in a total
Girl,
meltdown,
I would
and
have
people are
never
like,
believed that. Wow.
yeah. And so I've had to learn some coping strategies
Mhm.
to be able to stand in front of people and
Mm.
speak and project my voice and to tell my story.
Yeah.
Um, and after a few minutes, I
Mhm.
loosen up and I'm
Right.
good and I'm
Yeah.
good. But I get this overwhelming, nervous,
Yeah.
scared because when I'm not doing business,
Yeah.
like I'm quiet. I can be in the house with nothing on,
Mhm.
no
Mhm.
music, no TV. And I'm telling you, and my wife is like, can I get a radio on? So, but I just and
Yeah.
I'm just okay with just being with me,
Yeah.
off in a corner somewhere. But yeah, I have to turn that switch on because
Mhm.
I'm very shy and I
Yeah.
get extremely nervous. So I've learned
Ah.
coping strategies
Yeah.
so that I can step out and step into a room and
Mhm.
give all of me.
I love all of that because because I'm definitely an introvert by nature. But I love that you found ways to kind of push through that and so that you can get out there because I think that is actually one thing that hems up so many people is
Mhm,
that fear of stepping out there, talking to
mhm,
people, having a market. And some of that I think is rooted, and I'm not saying this is for you. I know for
mhm,
me, it used to be rooted in rejection. In am I
mhm,
going to hear that? No. Are people going to receive me the way that I'm hoping that I'm coming off as? And all these different things used to swirl in my head, and I had to like really learn to quiet those noises so that I
mhm.
can step out there more confidently. And I'm still very
Right.
introverted at events. I mean, I'm probably never going to be like the life of the party, but I had to learn, like you said, the coping mechanism. So I love that you share that because I think so many
Mhm,
people don't talk about that social anxiety enough. I think that
mhm,
is a very real thing. So
mhm. And
wow.
my thing is, I gain power and I
Mm-hmm.
gain confidence when I expose the weakness.
Mm. So true.
I
So
it
true.
just it empowers me,
Yeah.
and then I also know that it's gonna help somebody else who's probably like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
That's very
encourage
true.
people to step out and to take a chance, take a risk. It's
Yeah.
scary, but if I can do it, you can do it too.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So let me ask you this. What would you say, since being in business, have been the two biggest hurdles you've had to overcome since starting your company?
Okay, well, one of the biggest hurdles has been tapping into my market, into
Mm,
tapping into my customer,
okay.
because I wanted to stay in my comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
but I have a high-end product.
Mm-hmm.
I have a
Yeah.
luxury product,
Yeah.
so having this type of product, I had to go into circles that are high end, people who shop high end. I had to go into these circles who people who indulge in luxury items, luxury gifts, specialty gifts. Because of my item, I had to step into the corporate arena of talking to the CEOs and getting them to get to know me. So that has been a challenge for me. It was a challenge in the beginning because I was afraid. I was afraid that, I wouldn't hit the mark.
Right.
I was afraid that, I would be looked at like, who are you? And why should I, patronize your business?
Yeah.
And so that was one of the biggest hurdles. But because I knew that I had to get myself in the middle of these arenas, in the middle of this type of customer, I started reaching out to different organizations. I started reaching out to organizations that cater to people who are on the high end, people who are in corporate, people who are business owners and stuff, so I tapped into that. And then once I got into that arena, then I was able to spread out and start networking and letting people taste my product, and from there, the phone calls started coming to me.
Ah, nice. Yeah. But see, and what I'm hearing is you put in the work. You were proactive. You didn't sit there and 'cause I think I did a blog one time that when people feel like you put it out there, they will come, and they don't always come like that. Like you have to do the work. You got to plow the field. You got to kind of get out there and do the work. So I love hearing that you're very intentional in terms of reaching out to your ideal customer base. So that's really important.
Yeah, I actually made a list of different businesses, organizations, real estate offices, realtors, brokers. I made a list of people I wanted to reach out to.
Oh, nice.
And that's what I did. Even celebrities, even like being here in Atlanta, it's a lot of celebrity events that go on.
I bet.
And I'm gonna tell you what I used to do. I did this in the first year. I used to take a dozen of my macarons and I take my carry my big purse, my big cute purse, and I had a box of macarons because if I had a chance to talk to that celebrity, I wanted to have a box of macarons because how am I going to talk about what I do and I don't have anything to give you?
Yes.
And so I was able to do that several times and actually ship some to some of the celebrities here in Atlanta. So that has been amazing.
Oh, I love that. What is something that you wish that somebody would have told you before you even started that would have helped you in the beginning?
One of the things was to actually start saving money. Like really start saving money, not just, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, but be intentional of saving money for that start. So I kind of was playing catch up with myself. Everything was set up, but the orders had to start coming in. For me to kind of catch up. But I did. It didn't take long. It did
Right.
long.
But that's good. I think good wisdom is that when you're starting, it is important about the saving, because I think the money part scares people sometimes, because you always hear you're gonna take a loss, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, but that doesn't have to be everybody's truth. When you start, you can start. If you knew then what you know now, obviously you can start in a different kind of way. Like if you were to branch off, which I'm going to ask you for how where you're growing with your business, but now you know how to plan it differently financially because of what you learned in the beginning.
Right. Right. So now we have a budget, and we just make sure that the business is where it's supposed to be on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
So that anything that comes down the pipe is able to be handled without question.
Yeah, I love that. So let me ask you this. I know that you work a full-time job and you're building a very robust business. So can you give us at least a couple of different ways, 2 or 3 ways of how you balance doing both?
Whew. Okay. Well, actually, I'm going to be honest with you, Kimberly.
Yeah.
So we are almost 2 years in,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're 2 years in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, going on 2 years in. And I just got a routine.
That's true. But you know what? But you have to kind of go the ebb and flow to find out what the routine works for you, right? So share with me a little bit about that. I want to hear about that.
Okay, so for the past 2 years, I'm coming in and baking and baking and baking and baking, just all times of the night, just round the clock, working during the day, a 9 to 5, and then coming home and baking till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I did that for the solid first year.
Yeah.
And so going into the second year, we were able to elevate the business. And so we're in a commercial kitchen now. And so with that being in a commercial kitchen, now I have set days of the week that I go into the kitchen and bake.
Nice.
So I have now, Monday is my admin day, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, and then the weekends are open for events and things like that. And because of this schedule now, I'm able to stay up on my productivity. We have a new employee. So that is just going great, but it's been baby steps, and so that is, how I have come into finally a routine. So we're good.
And it sounds like, you, like we said earlier, you put in the work, but you also had to plan for where you're trying to grow and where you're trying to be. Because, sometimes it can be overwhelming if you're thinking about, I got a full time and I got to build too, but you found ways to make it work within your schedule to where it sounds like you don't compromise having that personal time and things like that anymore, because you're really trying to build into having something healthy and profitable, obviously.
Right. And I mean, and my job, I am growing in my job and I'm growing in my business. So it has been very imperative that I get a routine in both.
Right.
Because my job right now is helping to fund the business. And even though we have sales coming in, we have corporate accounts, all that, and it's coming in, but I make sure that bank account stay at a certain, I make sure it stay at a certain place. So that that's where my job comes in at. And it's getting easier to balance. It's getting easier to balance just because I've finally gotten myself on a routine, like I said.
I like that. All right, I got a couple more questions for you. Okay. So in moments, as we've all been, as growing in business, we have great days, we have hard days. In moments where you feel a little bit of doubt or a little bit of uncertainty, what do you do to kind of get yourself back into a mindset where you're like, okay, I'm not going to feed into that? What do you do?
Well, when I have gone to that place where I'm like, you know what, I don't know, is this really what I want to do? But then I look at how far I've come, Kimberly. I look at how far I've come. I look at all the work I have put into it. And then I also remember that I wasn't the one who gave me this gift. So if I'm struggling with something, I might need to ask him to help me, because that is ultimately where my strength comes from.
Yes, ma'am.
And then I'm not the kind of person that is not going to try. Like, I'm going to try. Like, it would kill me to not try.
Yeah.
If I just gave up and threw in the towel, like that would crush me. And so I'm just, I have to keep going. And then I think about my customers.
Yeah.
I think about how much they love my product. And it's not only my product, but they love being around me.
Yeah.
They love interacting with me. And then I think about people who have traveled the same road that I've traveled, and I give them hope.
Yeah.
So if I give up, but I'm telling another sister that you can do it, but if I give up, that's not showing her that she can do it,
True.
no matter what.
Yeah.
Because one thing about Ché René is that we are built a company that was built off of a foundation of second chances. I was given a second chance at having a successful life. I was given a second chance of creating my own space and surrounding myself with people and women that could show me how to create my space. And so that's the same thing that we're offering to our employees. We hire people who are looking for a second chance that society has written off.
I love that.
And so, that's who we employ because, it was a company that gave me a second chance. I turned their bakery around. And so I want to bring people on board to say, hey, you have a chance as well.
Yeah.
So I can't give up.
Right.
I know it gets hard. I've cried, I've had meltdowns, but I have to keep on going. It's one of the things that helps me breathe.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't let that go.
I don't
But
think you will.
it's
Yeah.
challenging. It's challenging. It's challenging, but and then I think about the fact that, I always heard that saying that your gifts and talents will make room for you at the table.
Yes, ma'am. I believe in that.
Yes.
I do. I really
and as long as I'm doing it for the right reason,
yes,
the money is gonna come. I'm gonna be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? And I want to stay in this game, stay in this business, work my behind off so that I can help provide a way of living for other families.
Yeah. And you will. So on that note, what's next for Ché René? What's next?
Okay, well, what's next for Ché René is that, I told you we moved into the commercial kitchen. And so at the end of this month, we're actually going to be rolling out our first subscription box.
Awesome.
And so I'm so excited about this. People are going to have options of how they want to receive their subscription box. And then also, we have collaborated in the past with tea companies and different small businesses. And moving forward, we're going to continue a few collaborations where we're customizing macarons with the product of that business. And then also, we're going to launch our Rockin' Macarons and Rockin' Recovery. Me being a person in long-time recovery, we're really going to roll it out so that people can understand the foundation that Ché René is built on. It's a continued legacy of my dad, who also was an entrepreneur, had a very successful waterproofing business for almost 30 years in North Carolina. And he hired people who were seeking a second chance in life, people who society wrote off. And, and we both not only talk about what recovery has done in our life, but we exemplify that, in our work that we do and just how we live.
Oh, wow. I'm excited for you. I really am. I'm genuinely very, very excited for you. And I love everything that you're building because I do believe in that whole second chance. And I love that you're creating a company that I know your dad's, I'm sure proud of. And then you're blessing other people in the process as you're growing, so you can't help but continue to grow, So we're going to make sure we put all your information so people can know how to reach out to you and how they can connect with you. Is there any closing thoughts that you would like to share with that woman, whether she's corporate, business, whatever, that she's listening to you right now? Is there any closing thoughts?
One thing I will say is that make sure that you take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we as women, we wear so many hats. You know, and the thing is, you know, we have ideas and we want to create a business or we want to create our own space, and we can do that, but we have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually, so that we are equipped to carry out what our dreams are.
There's nothing else I'll say after that. I think that's very true. Hands down. And something I've been very committed to the last few years is really making sure that I'm committing to my own self-care in all areas of my life.
Yes, like that thing is serious.
It is. Yeah.
It is
There's been times where even my
serious.
husband like, Kim, you got to eat. And I'll forget to eat, not because I'm trying to like lose weight, nothing like that. It's just, I'm just in the zone. And I look up and I'm like, did I even eat breakfast or lunch yet? And sometimes, you know, I have to really remember, okay, sometimes I have to schedule it, honestly, depending on how things are going. Like, Kim, stop. You got to eat right now, you know, and I've had to make that a part of my self-care. Yeah.
And that was one of the things. I was blessed to have a business coach. And one of the things she told me to do is just how I schedule everyone else on my calendar, all my events on my calendar, put Ché on your calendar.
Yeah.
And it's not negotiable.
Love that.
I said, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not negotiable.
And it shouldn't be.
Squeeze in an order. I can't squeeze in a box of macarons. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very important to do that.
And I mean, everything else around you will grow.
It does. And I can definitely speak to that. When I made God center and then everything else around it, you know, in the level of importance, I've watched him grow everything that my husband and I have been touching and doing, and not just us, but our kids, you know, and when you're in your right space, doing the right things, it's amazing what he does when you just trust him in the process. So
absolutely.
Yes. Well, thank you, Ms. Ché. I
Thank
appreciate
you,
your time.
I appreciate your time too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So we're going to put all her information on the page, and I encourage you guys, if nothing else, buy a box. Try her macarons. I promise you, you'll come back over and over and over again. And more importantly, too, if you are a corporate client or a corporate or business owner, I would encourage you also to look into what you're doing in that space too, because here's the thing, I love blessing our customers, our clients, my team members, etc., because people in this day and age when everything is so techy and everything's about texting and emailing, sometimes it's nice just to get a special gift from someone and it's more intentional and it means something different. So I would encourage you, send them something unique, because I think but Ché's box is very unique, and I think it's a unique gift and it's more intentional. So I encourage you guys to look into that. So thank you again, Ché. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too.